Hey you guys, it's me, Greg. I'm back. And boy, do I have a story time for you. So, before I kick it off, I've been doing good. As you know, like I said, I'm going to massage therapy school, and also in the comments below or in the description, whatever, my GoFundMe link will be linked to it. So if you want to share it or donate it, you'll be able to do so. But now to get into story time. Story time. So I never really had this conversation, and I think that it was time to do so. So for those that don't know, I worked at a school for 2 months. It was my first ever job. I worked at the local school district here in the suburb that I live in, Blue Island. It was the school Nathan Hale. It's like the Nathan Hale campus, where it's the primary, the intermediate, and the middle school all combined in one building. So it's like one side is the primary, the middle is the intermediate, and then the other half is middle school. So I worked as a lunch aide for, like I said, 2 months. Shortest 2 months of my life. Went by like really fast. I was the only guy as a lunch aide, and I was working with a whole bunch of women. And I'm not going to say, like, all women are bad. I'm not a woman hater, but these women, to me, were just like very immature. They were very catty. It seemed like that they had like drama with each other, but like ended up joining forces to kick me out, if that makes any sense. If not, I'm still trying to figure it out after all these years. But I worked as a lunch aide. I worked with kindergartners, 3rd grade and 4th grade. So like I had a kindergarten class that I was a lunch aide to, a 3rd grade class I was a lunch aide to, and a 4th grade class I was a lunch aide to. And it was fun for me because like I got to interact with the kids, and like to me it seemed like the kids got a kick out of me because sorry. Forgive me. Had a moment where like my mind slipped, but the kids, honestly, I think that they honestly liked me because I wasn't mean to them, and I didn't yell at them like for like small trivial things. I talked to them in the way that I would have wanted to be talked to if I was in school. If that makes sense. I'm sorry that I keep saying like if it makes sense, because like in my mind it makes sense, but like when I'm like speaking it out to you guys, I don't know if it's making sense. But basically like I said, I had like a really good interaction with the students. The students like really liked me because I didn't yell at them, and when I did reprimand them, it wasn't in a tone that broke down their spirits. It was like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. So they basically admired me for that. But I can go on and on and on about that job, but I'm just going to get to like the main points that I can get to. So basically, there's this woman, Ann Toscas. I don't know if she still works for the district, and honestly, at this point, like I really don't care if she works for the district, because I don't, her life isn't my focus. Like, I'm more concerned about me, because like when I pay mind to her, like I'm losing the sense of who I am, and I don't want to lose the sense of who I am. So I'm just gonna keep it short and simple with her. She was old, she was mean. She thought that she was the queen bee of being a lunch aide, because she's been doing it like since the early 90s. Yeah. So like I was saying, basically she thought that she was a queen bee. But anyway, in this situation, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So let me set up the story. So we were getting done with lunch, and I was working with my third grade students. So they were throwing out their garbage, and then one of them, they were throwing out the garbage, and then they were supposed to be quiet, but two of them like came up and like asked me a question, and so like I was answering their question, and the woman Anne blows her whistle, and she's like, "Be quiet, everyone, be quiet." So I turned around and I said, I got this. And she, in return, said, "You got this." And it was the way that she said it and how she said it, because she didn't have to yell at me in front of the kids, in front of our fellow co-workers, and in front of the cafeteria workers, but she did. And I caught myself, reporting her for that, but like nothing was done. So fast forward, I call it a week of hell, because that's what it was, a week of hell for me. So it seemed like the student was trying to like sit on my lap, because like I sat down on the ground, because like I was just like so tired, because like my legs were hurting, so I just sat down to tie my shoes. And basically this girl student thought that she could like come over and sit on my lap, and I had to tell her, I was like, "No, don't do that." So me and another coworker said, "No, don't do that." But I'll get into more detail about that other coworker that said, "No, don't do that." So later on that day, it was this one kid for my 4th grade class. This was the 3rd grade, with the don't do that situation. It was a 3rd grader, so it's like my 3rd grade class that I was working with. So like later on with my 4th grade class, it was this one kid that was just acting up, and I just wanted to know. So I asked my fellow coworkers if he had ADD or ADHD, and not knowing that he was behind me, and he heard that, and he burst out crying, and he made it seem like that I was making fun of him, and I wasn't making fun of him. I just wanted to know if he had something, because I know my sister has a disability, and it's a certain way that you're supposed to interact with kids with disabilities. So I just wanted to know if he had something, because I could have interacted with him in a different manner than how I interacted with the other students. Like, it wouldn't be an issue. But that was my fault for doing that, because I put my trust in these coworkers, and it turns out that they stabbed me in my back by reporting me to HR. And that coworker that I was telling you about that said, "No, don't do that," along with me with the little girl, she went to HR and told them that I allowed a child to sit on my lap. And so it was brought up during my termination because like I got fired the next day after that. So I was kind of like out of it because like I wasn't expecting to be fired. But it happened the way that it happened, and then I tried to get a meeting with the superintendent because I thought it's now that's a whole nother story, but like I'll get into that another time or probably tomorrow. I'll tell that story. But so I requested a meeting after I got fired. I requested a meeting with the superintendent, and I asked if these people that so-called, was like reporting me, like if they could come along to the meeting. And the meeting was a couple of days after the termination. So like I got fired on a Thursday, and I requested a meeting for Monday.